Tonight, we are not talking about speculation. We are not talking about distant tensions simmering in the background of global politics. We are talking about an active unfolding war, a direct military confrontation between the United States, Israel, and Iran. A confrontation that has already altered the strategic balance of the Middle East and could reshape the global order for a generation. This is no longer a proxy conflict. This is no longer shadow war, and this is not rhetoric. It is missiles, it is airstrikes, it is leadership decapitation, it is retaliation, it is mobilization, and it is uncertainty at the highest levels of power. And as of March 1st, 2026, the situation is fluid, volatile, and dangerously unpredictable. So tonight I'm going to walk you through those exactly cases of what happened, where things stand right now, and what each side is signaling now the region is reacting, and what that means globally and where it could go next. Take a breath, because what we are witnessing may be remembered as the moment the Middle East entered a new era. Over the past 48 hours, events have unfolded with a breathtaking speed. What began as a coordinated military operation by the United States and Israel has now evolved into a sustained hostility across multiple fronts. In the early hours of February 28th, the United States and Israeli forces launched a massive joint air and missile campaign deep inside Iranian territory. Precision strikes targeted ballistic missile installations, advanced air defense systems, command and control centers, intelligence facilities, and infrastructure tied directly to Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. They were not symbolic strikes, these were strategic hits designed to destroy Iran's ability to wage long-range warfare. But then something happened that changed everything. Iran confirmed that its supreme leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was killed during the opening phase of the strikes. For nearly 4 decades, Khomeini was central pillar of the Islamic Republic and the ultimate authority over the military policy, nuclear strategy, regional proxy networks, and the foreign affairs. His removal was not just a battlefield development, it was a seismic earthquake. The elimination of a sitting supreme leader during an active military confrontation is almost unprecedented in modern geopolitics. It signals an escalation at the highest imaginable levels. From Washington, the message was firm. This campaign was about neutralizing the threats and restoring deterrence. From Jerusalem, the framing was existential, that Israel could not allow long-range missiles and nuclear-adjacent capabilities to continue growing unchecked. Tehran responded within hours. As the ballistic missiles and long-range drones were launched toward Israel's territory, sirens echoed across Tel Aviv and other major population centers. Air defense systems engaged in repeated interceptions. Civilians moved into shelters as warning alerts interrupted daily life. Simultaneously, the U.S. military installations across parts of the Gulf region were targeted. Defense systems were activated. Explosions were reported at proximity to key bases. The messages from Iran was unmistakable. This would not go unanswered. And as of the 1st of March, the exchange continues. Israel's aircraft remain active in Iranian airspace, and additional airstrikes have reportedly hit missile depots and logistics hubs. Meanwhile, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps has vowed sustained retaliation, framing the conflict as defensive war against foreign aggression. But this is not contained to 2 countries. Hezbollah, the pro-Iran-aligned group in Lebanon, launched projectiles towards northern Israel following the death of Khamenei. Israel retaliated with strikes inside Lebanese territory, and that development alone dramatically increased the risk of a multi-front regional war. When Lebanon becomes active, the strategic equation changes. Northern Israel, they must divide the attention and resources. Iran gains additional leverage, and civilian populations on both sides face renewed exposure to cross-border fire. And then there is the border proxy network. militias in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen all align in varying degrees with Tehran. The potential for spillover attacks on shipping lanes, embassies, or additional U.S. positions remain a serious concern. Also, inside Iran, the political consequences are profound. The supreme leader was not merely a symbolic figure, he was the apex decision maker. His death creates a vacuum, and interim leadership council has reportedly formed. Hardline elements are calling for uncompromising retaliation. Meanwhile, questions loom about secession and the role of the assembly of experts in selecting a new leader. Leadership transitions during wartime are inherently unstable. Power struggles can intensify, factions compete, and signals become inconsistent. Miscalculations become more likely. And the miscalculations, it's the most dangerous the most dangerous word in any military confrontation. In Israel, a nationwide state of emergency remains in effect and schools are closed. Public gatherings are restricted and reservists are mobilized. The country has shifted into a wartime posture for Israel. Civilians, this is not theoretical geopolitics. It is sirens, shelters, and waiting. In the United States, military engagement is direct. American forces are actively participating in operations. Casualties have been confirmed. The fact alone marks a profound shift from indirect support to open involvement. Internationally, reactions are sharply divided. Some Western governments argue that Iran's military capabilities pose an unacceptable long-term threat. Others warn that the elimination of the head of state sets a precedent that destabilizes global norms. China and Russia have called for immediate ceasefires discussions. European leaders are urging restraint, and the United Nations Security Council convened emergency sessions filled with accusations, warnings, and urgent pleas for de-escalation. Meanwhile, global markets are reacting in real time. Oil prices fluctuate sharply with each reported strike. Aviation routes are rerouted, hundreds of flights canceled. Investors are calculating the risk of energy markets brace for supply disruptions if shipping lanes in the Straits of Hormuz become threatened. And that is a critical point. The Straits of Hormuz is one of the world's most important oil transit choke points. Any serious threat to shipping traffic where it could send shockwaves through the global economy. Even rumors of closures can move markets. So the stakes are not regional alone, they are globally. Now let's talk about the possible trajectories. There are several scenarios ahead. One, escalation. Iran intensifies the missile campaigns, proxy forces engage more aggressively, and Israel expands its air operations. The United States increases direct strikes, the region spirals into a prolonged multi-front war. Number two, controlled retaliation followed by diplomatic back channels where both sides demonstrate strength and quietly move toward a de-escalation through intermediaries. And of course, three, the internal instability inside Iran shifts the focus inward, limiting sustained external confrontations. But right now, we do not know which path will dominate. But we do know this wars often expand not by design, but by reaction. One misinterpreted strike, one civilian mass casualty event, one high-profile target hit unintentionally, that is how escalation accelerates. The psychological dimensions matter too, and for Iran, the death of its supreme leader is a moment of national trauma and political fury. For Israel, the campaign is framed as necessary deterrence for the United States, and the engagement signals commitment to strategic allies and containment policy. Now, each side believes it's acting defensively within its own framework. However, that is what makes resolution difficult, and yet diplomacy historically emerges even from extreme escalation. The question is timing and cost. As of this hour, on March 1st, 2026, air operations continue, missile defense systems remain active, leadership councils meet behind closed doors, intelligence agencies assess, and the markets fluctuate and civilians wait. The next 24 to 72 hours may determine whether this remains intense but limited or becomes something much larger. History teaches us that pivotal conflicts are rarely obvious at the beginning. They often look like another escalation, until suddenly they redefine the geopolitical landscape. We may be standing in one of those moments. This situation is developing by the hour. Facts are evolving, information is being verified continuously, and in the times like these, clarity matters more than ever. We will continue to monitor, confirm developments, separating signal from noise, and delivering context, not panic. If you want continued updates and deeper geopolitical breakdowns and analysis that goes beyond the headlines, stay connected, because in moments like this, informed citizens are powerful citizens. This has been your full situational report on this U.S.-Israel-Iran war as of March 1st. Stay alert and stay informed, and we'll be back with the next update as history continues to unfold. Thank you for watching the Political Lens podcast, and as always, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.